Let's talk about Monique and Oprah. Yep.
This is so messy.
Yep.
Monique and Oprah.
Yep.
Hit the skull emoji if you're excited to talk about Monique and Oprah.
I am.
Have you been excited? Have you been waiting for an Oprah reading? I've been wanting an Oprah reading. I want a Monique reading, a Tyler Perry reading, a Lee Daniels reading. All right, let's go.
All right. So, Monique is demanding an apology from Oprah. Is she ever gonna get that apology?
Is Oprah gonna apologize to Monique? Okay, so I see here that Oprah feels like Oprah's standing on a cliff, and she's just pretty much like, all right, Monique is like pushing my hand. She's trying me. Why is she bringing this up? And it's far off. It's like these things don't really get back to Oprah like that, but sometimes people will bring it up, or Oprah will see it, and when she does see it or she hears it, she's like, why is this coming up? Like, why? What does this have to do with anything? And I see that Oprah is like, she's just kind of like, what should I do? And it's neither one of those things is apologize. Now, what I do see here is that Oprah is going to continue trying to make sure that Monique isn't employed, because the Empress comes up. So I see that Oprah is trying to nurture new black talent, and she's trying to work with as many African Americans as possible so that Monique's roles can be limited in the future. And I'm also seeing here where Oprah's kind of like, she keeps picking these battles with me, but you know what? Eventually this war is going to be won. Eventually everything's going to be over. But the Moon card is here, so she feels like Monique is losing her mind. The Judgment card shows up in her house of hidden advantages, so Oprah feels as though Oprah is going to continue not acknowledging this. So she's like, as long as I don't acknowledge it, I don't say anything, Monique, she's like, Monique's gonna make herself look crazy. The Two of Coins shows up, and it's like Oprah is saying that I see Oprah looking at, like, it's like, and it's funny, I see Oprah like literally logging into her bank account, like using her index. I feel like she gets her iPhone and uses her index finger instead of the thumb. Like she's like, $4 million. I'm not apologizing. I feel like, cause that's what I see. Like I just see, she feels like Monique's, at the most she's gonna say that actress has a right to stand her ground in the fight for her position in this industry. And I hope that she finds her way. She's an impressive talent. She works hard, and she's gonna continue campaigning for like starving artists. But I don't see an apology.
Okay. All right. So, how does Oprah feel about Monique? Like, how does she view Monique?
What are Oprah's true thoughts about Monique?
You like revealed the kind of petty that Oprah is. It's that rich petty. I can't be bothered. I like it. I aspire to that one day.
She feels like Monique misuses her power. She feels like Monique is a very powerful person, and she feels like, she's like, no, if Monique really truly invested the most that she could, like, into herself, like, she's like, she channeled that energy into the right spaces, she'd be more successful. She feels like Monique's tongue, she's like, I feel like she needs to cut her tongue off. And she's like, she feels like Monique pokes the bear, and she doesn't. She also feels like Monique has a temper, and she feels that Monique is not humble, and that she's like, I think that Monique cries too much, cries about everything because she doesn't want to accept that she's not this influence that she thinks that she is, and she has a ways to get there. Then the King of Coins is in the house of hidden advantages, so she's like, she also feels like Monique is too attached to her husband, and she feels like Monique is disillusioned, like her husband is her greatest advantage, but he's not. She feels like her husband's lazy, and that Monique is just. She feels like Monique is more of like an ornament to him, and she feels like Monique just needs to wake up, and she's like, invest your energy into the right spaces. She doesn't feel like Monique. She feels like Monique needs to get in balance. Like, she's like, Monique needs to these issues that she's carrying in her heart. These perceived betrayals, these complicated past that she has. She needs to release it and let it go because her heart weighs more than a feather. And then she's at the same time, she's like, that's what's keeping her out of balance, like just holding on to those things. And she's like, God's got her. I feel like God's gonna bless her, but her cup is gonna continue running over, but it's gonna run over with tears, but not opportunities.
Okay. I feel like we kind of have a general sense of how Monique feels about Oprah, but I'd still like to know.
How does Monique feel about Oprah? She feels like Oprah's a capitalist. She feels like Oprah plays with people's feelings. She feels like she's emotionally manipulative. Mm-hmm. And she feels like she's like, behind the scenes, in front of the camera, she manipulates your emotions. And you got to be really careful, like, playing with Oprah, because she's like, you don't know what is going to be fodder for television. Mm-hmm. She feels like, she's like, Oprah's one of those people that you have to be very much in tune with who you are, because she'll mesmerize you. She's like, watch Oprah's eyes. If she tries to make eye contact with you, that's when she's lying. She may not even look you directly in the eye sometimes. She feels like Oprah is a relationship. She's like, I prayed to work with Oprah. She was somebody I always admired. That sister was, this phenomenal person to me. But, Oprah has a temper. You ain't going to be able to see it. It's way behind the scenes, and she ain't going to let it out, but just know it's going to show up in her actions. And she feels like Oprah's actually a very cutthroat person. That Oprah is, she's like, she's the best at what she does. She knows how to make a great show, but I also feel like she's only looking over her shoulder. She's always looking over her shoulder to watch her back, and she's not watching your back. And then the Emperor card shows up, so she's like, pretty much like Oprah's ruthless. Like, she's about her dollar. And if you don't fit into her, if you don't do what she says, she ain't gonna fuck with you. And she feels like Oprah has more growing to do in terms of, like, what true upliftment looks like, not having to fit into some mold. And she also feels like, at the end of the day, what can she do or what can she say? Oprah has built this institution that controls the means of, production around like the roles that actors can play, and who directs what. And she wishes Oprah the best. She wants it to be successful, but at the same time, she's like, her talking about me being out of balance, out of character, that's just trying to sway y'all's opinions. Listen to the truth. That's what I mean by she's emotionally manipulative.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's what Monique would say.
Okay. Now, you mentioned something about Oprah will make, like, your stuff fodder for television. So I would like to know, does Oprah feel bad for having Monique's brother on her show? Monique was molested by her brother.
Bye.
And
Bye.
Oprah brought him on the show. Did not tell Monique, just like completely ambushed her with the fact. I think Monique found out like right before she was supposed to come on set that her brother was going to be on the show along with her
Did he talk about that?
I never saw the whole interview, so I don't know if he talked about it or like what was discussed. But doesn't Oprah feel bad about it?
She's conflicted. She feels bad, but she feels like she shed a light on an important topic. It's kind of hard to feel bad when you make a lot of money off of it too. She wishes that she could do it over again, and it's something that it's definitely something I get a somber feeling within the bottom of Oprah's heart, where I feel like she did take this to her altar, and ask for her heart to please just know my heart. Like, if anything, universe, know my heart. She felt bad, but I don't think this is something that is etched into her memory for the rest of her life. It's like, this is gonna be an interview that I'm never I don't know if she's ever gonna mention that episode of Oprah. Like, if she has the 100 best episodes of Oprah, she's gonna be like Rihanna, Beyonce, the dude that wrote The Secret. I don't think she's gonna not mention Monique.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's segue back to Monique and her husband. What's up with their relationship?
He's the head. I mean, the message is simple. He's the head of household. He's the head of household. Period. He's the head of household, but he's also the reason behind a lot of her delays with making money. Mm-hmm. He is the face, the eyes, nose, brain. He moves everything. Because so Judgment, King of Cups, the Sun. The Judgment's part, and it's in his house of spiritual challenges. So he feels that he's unfairly judged by people, and that he's actually someone that has a very benefic politic when he's dealing with people. He feels like he's a giver, and that he's always trying to make sure that everybody eats.
Greetings, I'm Priestess Peach Blossom. If you would like to know more about the traditions and practices of Southern Hoodoo, you can sign up for my mentorship program at www.blackspectrumnetwork.com.
I see him being very emotional, but also very talkative as well. I get that he is he's happy to be married to her. I don't know if they have a kid together. I don't know. They don't have a kid together, I don't think. But I see a little baby. Anyway, so the cards are pretty much saying that their marriage, they're best friends with each other that talk about business all the time. And he's the reason behind why things are delayed for them. Because she just wants to perfect her craft as an artist. And she is stuck. She's stuck and doesn't know how to get closure from this blackballing experience. And she doesn't know how to move from it. and she's hoping that her husband's. She's like, my husband has my back. That's the only person I can trust. He's looking out for me. When he was the first person that said, Monique, that was wrong. He had my back.
Cool.
I mean, you just like, girl, I don't give no fuck.
I thought you were gonna give me something juicy like a secret 17-year-old girlfriend he got or something like that. But I'm glad to know that they have a nice, solid relationship.
Yeah.
That's good.
I mean, it's fun. That's how it functions.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna try to not ask too many Oprah questions because I think you should do just like an Oprah reading and just spill all of her tea. But before we get off this subject, I would like to know a little something about her relationship with Stedman behind the scenes.
Okay, what's Oprah's relationship like with Stedman?
Because I feel like she be running that shit. Like, you know, shut the fuck up when you talking to me, Stedman.
I don't feel like they're really together.
Is Stedman a beard?
I don't. Okay, I just don't, I don't feel that their energy is really together. I don't feel. I don't feel. I feel like there's a mental connection there between the two of them. I feel like he has another romantic partner. Like, I don't feel like they have a monogamous relationship.
Okay.
I feel like there's a mental connection there. Oprah doesn't give me a very sexual vibe about her either. Like, there's a sexiness to her in a way, but there's not. She doesn't give me sex. Like she wants it. I feel like Stedman feels like Oprah is. He's like, I've seen her best. I've seen her worst. I've been her best friend. I've seen her celebrate. I've seen her rule the world. I've seen her aim for perfection. But he's like, he feels that she's her own worst enemy, her own worst critic. It's like he's seen her get drunk. He's seen her, really depressed. She surveils him. Like, she watches over him and she keeps an eye on him. She keeps tabs on him. He thinks he's fortunate to be in a relationship. Who the fuck is heartbroken? He's heartbroken because... Bonjour, I'm Pastor Dr. Quintari Shakir, otherwise known as Negrezo. If you can't get enough of our content for as little as $2 a month, you can get these and other videos at least 1 week ahead of their YouTube release date. That's www.patreon.com/Black Spectrum Network. They're in a relationship, but they're not, like, they don't, like, it's not like they live together or do, like, they do certain things together, but it's not... It's gotten so casual that he's at conflict with that. It's not traditional the way he wanted it to be. But he got into it. He was comfortable with that because he was like, I'm holding her down. I'm supporting you. She does run it. I mean, he don't fight with her because that's just how it is. It's like he's like, baby, okay, cool. Like, he endures a lot. I gotta look at his astrology. I'm gonna look at Stedman's astrology. She's pretty much just like. She pretty much just makes sure that he stays silent. She doesn't want him to ruin anything, and she pays him. She like gives him an allowance.
Okay. I feel like Oprah gives a lot of people in her life an allowance.
He doesn't feel like he has a lot of power in the relationship. He feels like he has a voice, but at the end of the day, he feels like Oprah makes a lot of the decisions because. He's like, if I leave Oprah, then, like, that's how he feels. That's what he's worked himself into thinking. I mean, there are obviously other women out there,
but they ain't got Oprah's bank account or influence. Okay, well, I'm gonna try not to take up all of that. I'm gonna save the rest of my questions for your actual Oprah reading. Okay. So let's move on. Oh wait, did we say or not we were gonna pray?
Alexandra M. He's a Pisces. A lot of Pisces in his chart. He could take a lot of abuse, baby. Anyway, let's see. Monique. Anyway, Oprah, you're going to hell, but the OWN network, I like it. Stedman, you going to hell because you should feel like there's other stuff out there for you. You should just feel that way, even if you are going to take advantage of your opportunities. And Monique, I'm proud for you.
What?
I'm proud. I'm proud. I'm proud for you.
Can you just be just like a little bit clearer?
I'm a pray for you.
I don't believe it.
So fuel my fire, take me higher, I'll be your liar too. Cause when we're here, there's nothing better than the skyline view. Ooh.